Well, hello everyone, and here is another recorded video for you guys because you guys seem to absolutely love these pre-recorded videos, and I suppose also as well as a chance for me to kind of get my thoughts organized in advance. So there are definitely benefits to kind of doing these pre-recorded videos. So. What I just want to mention before I get stuck in with the show and we'll discuss what this particular show is about, I'm going to try and see if I can get this in half an hour or less. I cross my fingers. I'm going to try and speak a bit quicker and maybe just not cover quite so many things that I normally would, because it is nicer to have those kind of shorter videos, particularly as a mix. But anyway, without further ado, so just so you know, for all of my people that are my members, so if you just look on my membership, I have just released a new video into my Secrets, Fame and Infamy playlist, where of course I look at some infamous people, but also some very nice people as well, some very talented people. And those of you that are members will know that my last video was on Jeff Bezos, wasn't it? It was Jeff Bezos, and then before that I did Mark Zuckerberg. And today's video, I'm doing two today because really I should have done it yesterday, but I had to put up basically just in a little tangent. Look at that, my first tangent already. I got a new TV yesterday, and actually a new Hoover, but the TV literally went black. It had the sound, but it literally just went black the other day, so I couldn't watch anything. And I'm someone, I like to be frugal, or in the sense of I'm not someone who will just buy something just because I want the newest of something. I will literally just wait until something is well used. Yeah, it's the Saturnian aspect in me. Saturn holds the highest degree in my chart, so I like good value, no waste. Yeah, so literally the TV went kaput. And as for my kind of plug in and charge up handheld Hoover, which was actually a Vax, by the way. And I should have just said it. I think this TV was about 8 years old, something like that. It might even been 10. I lose track of these things. And my poor sort of like Hoover or Vax Hoover had to go because, I mean, it was, I think that was about 5 or 6 years old. And it was literally struggling to kind of suck up feathers, yeah, from the floor. I'm not even joking, like feathers, yeah, going over the same spot and looking to see if anything had changed. So I had to get a new Hoover as well. And on another funny little tangent, I was just throwing it away, putting it into one of those big kind of wheelie bin things that we have here. And actually, one of the guys that was actually working to maintain the park, he called out to me and he took the Hoover off me and is going to use it for his car. So it's not going to go to waste, which is a good thing. Anyway, digression. So yes, my for members, my new video uploaded today is for Oprah. And of course, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and join and all of those wonderful things. Oh, see, look, I've got my notes here to make sure I don't go off track. We need to pick a winner. And also as well, just so you know, this show, we're going to be talking about the upcoming solar eclipse, which is happening on the 4th. Today is the 1st of December 2021, and the solar eclipse is happening on the 4th of December. So literally 3 days. But I must announce a winner. So for those of you who are in my top tier membership, each month I pull a name out of the hat, and one of you gets I don't know, it's not a hat, it's out of the box really. This is where, out of the box, where I keep my very plush, look, here, this is the box. This is where I keep my very plush bow ties. I probably should have worn this today, shouldn't I? Anyway, never mind. Next time, perhaps. Leave comments below if you'd like me to wear one of my kind of rather flamboyant bow ties for my next show. Any road. So here we are. So it comes, the ties come in these boxes, and look, I've got names in here. And then I'll just give them a rattle. And I'm just going to pick one out. Let me just close my eyes, see where. There we are. It's going to be this one. And I'm going to read out your name. And when you see this video, just get in touch with me on my email, which is contact@hogarthbrown.com. Yeah, and you get a free reading from me. All right. Oh, it's Marjorie Lara. Marjorie Lara, you know who you are. I'm sure I've seen you a lot in the comments. That focus. Maybe not. Maybe not. No, I don't think it will. It's too bright. So Marjorie Lara, get in touch with me. Like I said, at contact@hogarthbrown.com, and you will get a free reading. We'll just schedule it for when it's mutually convenient, and of course for everyone else who may be interested, of course, in having a consultation with me. You can of course also check out my reviews and stuff like that on my Facebook page, even though Facebook is a little bit evil, but it is useful for some things. Yeah. You can see there, and of course you can visit the archetypalblueprint.com and go to the make a booking section, and in there you will see the consultations that I do, and also as well there's a little video there which explains each one, and for each consultation you get an automated you get a Zoom recording and the scan of your chart as well, which I use. So one of my clients yesterday, let's just cover the name, but I will give a shout out actually. Poonam, give you a little shout out. She had a consultation with me yesterday, but I'll just cover the rest of her name here. And this is what these charts look like. You get your main chart, the D1, and the Navamsha, and I talk about everything, your Mahadasha sequence, what's going on, where the planets were at the time that you were born, etc. And I can answer almost any question there, really. Sometimes I think to myself, someone asks me a question, I think, oh my goodness, how can I answer that? And then I just look at the chart and boop, the answer pops out. Anyway, so I mentioned that. I'm also as well, when it comes to the Omicron, it's the Omicron, isn't it? The new variant, let's put it that way. We will discuss that on Hodiga. I want to discuss that on Hodiga and just get the ladies' thoughts on that as well, particularly when we're pulling away at the tarot and see what we can find. And lastly, but not least, I'm going to be collaborating again with Lena. Yes, Dr. Lena Rodriguez. So I will be collaborating with her on Tuesday, the 7th of December. And it's going to be 9 a.m. UK time. And I think it's 7 p.m. in Oz time. I think Australia's is 7. I think it's 7 hours ahead. Where Lena is from. Oh my goodness. When it comes to set that up, obviously we're going to make sure that that's accurate in the description, and for you guys it will be really early in the morning. Some of you actually do join, so for those of you that are in America and the States, we've got -5 hours off the 9 a.m. so of course that is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. It's it's 4 a.m. in the morning for you guys, so I doubt many of you will be watching on that, but you certainly catch up afterwards. So that is me and Lena collabing again, and of course doing our usual bits and bobs as we normally do. Look at that, the time has gone already. Anyway, let's discuss. Before we discuss the eclipse, I want to quickly announce that, you know what, giving myself a little pat on the back, I think I was pretty accurate about that lunar eclipse. Now, the lunar eclipse happened on the 19th of November, and it happened in sidereal Taurus, which actually was in a similar place to the West. Western astrologers were also talking about Taurus, but they were talking about a much later degree. I think they were talking around about 27 degrees of Taurus. It happened, the actual place in the sky it happened was at 3 degrees of sidereal Taurus, which is the exaltation point of the moon. So this eclipse happened at its exaltation point. What does the moon represent? The moon represents women, yeah? But it represents matriarchs in particular, mothers and matriarchs, queens, for example, female leadership as well, because of course, moon is equal to the sun, and it can talk about female leadership in particular. Now, as you will know in my previous videos, I may have mentioned a bit on Hodigo when it was the 3 of us together, which was a couple of weeks ago. And then I think I made a show. I'll put it in the link. I'll put these things in the link. I'll have to have a little dig around. And when I spoke about the lunar eclipse on the 19th, I said it would be very significant for female leaders. Remember, Angela Merkel has basically stepped down. And I said it would be all types of female leadership, but I mentioned the Queen in particular. Yeah, I even mentioned Grace Jones as well. I said I hope nothing happens to Grace Jones. You know what? I actually saw her on an advert the other day. I think it was BT. I'll see if I can find that advert as well, but it's not as important. The important thing is, I said it will be very significant for the Queen, not only for her health, but it also deals with leadership. And something remarkable happened a couple of days ago, which is that Barbados declared its end with its ties with the UK to become a republic. We need to remember Barbados used to be under the crown, the Queen, yeah? And the moon was eclipsed, yet exalted at 3 degrees of sidereal Taurus. And remember, I said this will have some kind of effect as well on the Queen. Not only her health, but I said female leadership. There could be stuff to do with female leadership. And that's why I was worried that some people might even pass. I mean, we have to see. But so Barbados used to be part of the Commonwealth. And those of you who are in Canada, my Canadian viewers and other people around the world, the Commonwealth, of course, is a collection of multiple countries. I can't remember exactly. I should have actually looked that up now, shouldn't I? But I think it's around about 51. Don't quote me on that. It's there of nations that are also part of the Crown. Australia, of course, being one of them as well. And I'm sure Lena has still got choice words to say about that. Yeah, she's not a fan. She's not a fan of these things. Anyway, Barbados, up until a couple of days ago, was still part of the Crown, and now they are independent. So you see something that's directly affected the Queen. Yeah, because it's the loss of a realm. We have to see, of course, if this becomes a domino effect or if this is just something that will just kind of slowly tick on. What I suspect is when the Queen is no longer on Earth, then there will be could be many more countries in the Commonwealth that may say, well, actually, you know what, we want to be completely independent. We want to be republics. But we have to see. We have to see because you know, the Commonwealth can have its uses. It's being a member. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of what being a member is because I don't have a clue. And of course, I'm here living in the UK, so we're under the Crown here anyways, which is a big part of British history. So I thought that was very interesting. Now, going back to the female leadership theme, Barbados has sworn in its first ever president, and she is called Sandra Mason. Yeah, Sandra Mason, female leadership. And then the Prime Minister is Mia Mottley. Mia Mottley is the Prime Minister. So you've got 2 women that are in the most senior positions of leadership now in Barbados. And guess what? At this ceremony, Rihanna, affectionately known as Riri, bad gal, yeah, with her stuff. You know, we all love Rihanna, who, of course, for those of you who are not familiar, she is an international superstar in terms of a recording artist, etc. And now as well has you know, this kind of amazing kind of makeup line called Fenty. I think when she launched, she had 40 shades of literally of different colors, and it was based of different skin tones, and it was an international success, straight up. And she is now a bona fide billionaire, apparently. If anyone can find anything else that is contrary to the case, let me know. But I heard it was announced somewhere that she is now a billionaire. The point is, she, at this ceremony of the independence of Barbados, she has been named as a hero of Barbados. So here, this is again for the Queen. This was the eclipse, yeah, because remember the sun and moon are royal planets. So this was the exaltation, the eclipse happened at the exaltation point of the moon, 3 degrees of sidereal Taurus, but it was eclipsed. So it's like the Queen lost something. Eclipses aren't always losses. There can even be wonderful things that happen. But for her, it was more of a shadow. She lost Barbados. But then at the same time, there were 3 women that were honored in her place, if you see what I mean, which can also explain the exaltation of that as well. One of the things as well I wanted to mention too, that this was close to the star Siegal, which I said before. Now, Siegal as well can deal with Medusa, and there were some issues for Medusa in regards to being assaulted, shall we say, by Poseidon. Yeah, so sometimes this star can even deal with things like that. And isn't it interesting that around that eclipse time, there was Peng Shui came forward with her allegations against that minister. I just thought that was interesting and first worth wrapping in there. So there is that. Okay, what else? Let's start talking about... Yes, let's start talking about the solar eclipse. Now, I'm going to get a move on here. This solar eclipse is happening on the 4th of December, like I said, 2021. Sorry, I always keep saying 2020. Gosh, 2021. And it's going to be happening at 19 degrees and 3 minutes of sidereal Scorpio. Yeah, sidereal Scorpio. Now, in the future, maybe from next year, I might start doing stuff where I do stuff on my laptop so I can sort of like share the screen and stuff. But for now, I'm going to unhook you guys here, and I'm going to show you my screen just so that you can see for yourself. And I hope you can see this. I hope I'm holding this the right way. Let's go down here like that, just to be sure. Look, there. There is the sun in the nakshatra called Jyeshtha. And there is Ketu. Yeah, Ketu. Let me just make sure that I am showing that. There's Ketu, who is causing that eclipse. And there's Rahu opposite, yeah, and sidereal Taurus. So I hope you could see that. It's where the planets are. Now, let's go back here. This is where, just go back. This is where the planets are sidereally. And this means that this is the actual placements. If you go on the NASA website or some other kind of website, it will confirm this is where the planets actually are. This eclipse, I know many of you might be into Western astrology and all that kind of stuff. You know that I'm a sidereal astrologer. You know, it is not happening in Sagittarius. It isn't. It isn't. Different stuff would be happening if this eclipse was happening in Sagittarius. Okay, so We're talking about Scorpio energy here. Scorpio, not Sagittarius. Scorpio has much different connotations to Sagittarius, doesn't it? First of all, it is happening in the nakshatra, which is called Jyeshtha. Jyeshtha is the part of Scorpio that is relentless, deeply probing into things. The good side of it can be like research, getting to the bottom of things, really, really digging to try and find out and understand what is going on. Scorpio is also a sign of research, digging deep, solving mysteries. Like I said, getting to the truth of something. Yeah, there's that. What's the shadow, though, of Scorpio? The shadow of Scorpio is conspiracy theories. Yeah, that's a big thing. But Scorpio has a lot to do with power. Now, if you think, look at all of when I've done the charts for those ministers, you know, even good, bad, or ugly, or all in between, you notice how often Scorpio, they turned out they had a planet in Scorpio somewhere in their chart when they're involved, when they're involved in politics, because politics is about what? Power, yeah, power, decisions, can be even life or death decisions. Politics is also about intrigues, isn't it? If you think, politics is actually very scorpionic, even though the ninth house is technically politics. Really, politics has got a lot to do with the eighth house. What happens behind the scenes? How do ministers use their power? Are they telling the truth, or are they trying to manipulate? Yeah, because part of the shadow of Scorpio is manipulation. Now, look, Scorpios get a bit of a bad rap, yeah, and some people even try and pretend they're not a Scorpio. Or when my clients come to me who are tropical Sagittarius, and when I reveal to them that their sun is in Scorpio, there's normally a loud kind of either a gasp or the long letting out of wind, yeah, because they're like, no. And I want to say here, for all my Scorpio people or planets in Scorpio, and if you're watching this, you know, you probably got some, yeah, or you got some action going on in the eighth house, because this is what it's all about, finding out about things, the essence of stuff. Yeah, this is what Scorpio wants. It wants to get the juice out. Yeah, but also as well, Scorpio has the sting. Now, this eclipse, like I said, it is happening in Jyeshtha. Now, I'm going to show you on my nakshatra wheel where that actually is in the sky. And I do this for all my clients, and you can see it in my anyone who gets a booking with me, they get a little link automatically to a video where I talk about the nakshatras. So look here, look at this raggedy bit of paper here, which is so loved and used. This is a nakshatra wheel, yeah? Now, this is how I describe it. I describe it, so in here, you got the signs of the zodiac, yeah? Aries, Taurus, Gemini, we all recognize this. I call these the 12 pizza slices, yeah? This is what we recognize, yeah? We're in the West and in India and stuff like that. Now, these going out here, these subdivisions, I call the pizza fingers, yeah? The pizza fingers. These are the nakshatras, the lunar mansions. The moon spends approximately 1 day in each nakshatra. The moon moves 13 degrees, 20 minutes each day, and that's how large each of these nakshatra is. There are 27 of them, the lunar mansions, yeah? So that should make sense. Each nakshatra has its own sub-ruling planet, its own name, and its own deity that is associated with that nakshatra. The nakshatras are incredibly rich and evocative narrative allegories for understanding the nature of the human experience here on planet Earth. And let me tell you, I've done many consultations now, and the nakshatras, it really does line up. So let's talk about Jyeshtha. So Jyeshtha is, here it is. Now what I've done is, I have put a little pink bit here. This pink bit here is where the eclipse is happening, yeah? Because it's happening, it's going to be happening at 19 degrees and 3 minutes, yeah? Now what I've shown to you here, these little things here, these are called padas, yeah? Each nakshatra is further subdivided into 4 padas, 4 sections. So each zodiac sign is made up of 2.5 constituent parts, 2.5 nakshatras. There's 27 in total, and they overlap a little bit. So Jyeshta is right in the middle of Scorpio. Do you see it there? Jyeshta. There it is. Yeah, no, actually, ooh, yeah. What am I doing here? Well, it's in Scorpio. I'm just confusing myself the way that I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it backwards. I got confused. So it's in the last portion of Scorpio before it goes into Mula. Yeah. So now this eclipse, if you look here where I've highlighted in green, yeah, here in green, that is where the star Antares is in the sky. I'm talking about real placements here, not 24 degrees ahead happening in Sagittarius. Sorry, Western astrologers and stuff like that. I say my apologies in advance. We are in crucial times. We need to be giving accurate placements because this is important. The star Antares is known as the star of war. Yeah. Antares sits at, I already pointed it out, but Antares sits at 14 degrees 46 minutes. Yeah. And this eclipse is happening at 19 degrees 3 minutes. So it's pretty close. Yeah. It's pretty close to that placement because 14 degrees 46 minutes is almost 15. So, it's within 5 degrees. Let's put it that way, which is quite a close orb. So Antares is the star of war. Now, does it mean that we're going to be going immediately into war and all that kind of stuff and we're all going to get blown up and that's the end of the world? Thank you very much and see you next lifetime. No, not necessarily. Yeah, but it does show that tensions are going to be bubbling. Yes, tensions will be bubbling. It's already happening. Just look at the world. Look at America. I mean, that's just a dead giveaway. But look at the world. And you know what? This was something very interesting. And we'll probably explore this a bit more on Hidalgo's Tarot on Saturday coming, and where we can get together and all pull on this. But this is what one of the leaders from MI6, which is one of the UK's intelligence services, came out on national TV and said that in terms of the service, the Secret Service, they see China as a bigger threat to the world than global terrorism. No one has ever heard MI6 say anything like that before, ever. Yeah? So remember, this solar eclipse happening on the 4th of December is happening very close to the star Antares, which is the star of war and conflict. So what that means is things are going to be heating up. Look at all this stuff happening, and unfortunately, things like, gunshots, conflicts, there's stuff going on in Africa and whatnot. We've also as well got the rioting situations as well in Europe because of the lockdowns in regards to Delta at that point, and now we've got Omicron. Yeah. Oh, just in time for Christmas. Anyway, for entertainment purposes only. Yeah. I do find it interesting, and that's all I'm saying. Look, I've got my antibodies, blah blah blah, my certificate validated, by Harley Street. There's lots of research out there. There's lots of papers out there talking about certain different stuff. So am I worried? No. It's just one of those things. Am I being sensible? Yes, absolutely. So, obviously we've reintroduced the mask mandates now again in the UK. And I think that is more sensible, by the way. Yeah, because many studies have shown that really does help stop the spread. And, all I would say now, some people believe that may not be the case. But all I would say is this. When you go in for surgery in the hospital, why are all your surgeons wearing masks? Yeah, they don't work. Yeah. Do you really want your surgeon coughing and sniffing into your cavity, while he or she has got you opened up and is moving your spleen around to try and get to some other organ? Do you really want them going, yeah, in there? That's why they wear the masks, yeah? There are other debates about vaccines and what people do or do not want to put in their bodies. And I always believe, that that really is that person's choice. When the state starts saying you have to have this in your body, whether you want to or not, when coming from a perspective of where we live on this planet of free will, one of the things we are not supposed to do as human beings, no matter how irritating it is, no matter how dumb or annoyed or people may think it is violate people's bodies and their free will. And for me, that's, I draw the line there. It really is an important thing, especially when one does one's research, again, without saying too much. And it's worth checking out the track records, the factual history of some of these companies, shall we say, for entertainment purposes only. Yeah. And again, and I'm not a QAnon person or anything like that at all, as you guys will know, but I am a sane and rational person with a working brain in my head who's able to identify stuff accurately. Yeah. And it's just very, very interesting. I said months ago now, I think it was around about March, April, back on Marie's table, I said towards the end of the year, we're going to find out that the big V, as it were, is not really what it's being cracked up to be. Yeah, let's just say that. I think there's a lot more that has come out. I think though what is realistic though, and what is truthful, and what we do know to be a fact, is that the big V's do help in terms of preventing deaths, in terms of in hospitals and stuff like that. You are more likely to have a milder case if you get it. But what can be factually said is that it doesn't stop the spread. Yeah, the viral load is the same between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. Yeah, so now we need to start, I think the debate needs to start moving into things like I said before, ultraviolet air conditioning circulates the air, kills the virus as it circulates. Yeah, and you just put it in a black box or something, so people don't go blind or lose their hair or get sunburnt or what have you. We also need to start looking at things like antivirals as well. If this is a virus, then one of the logical things to take is an antiviral. There are many countries that are experimenting, but the coverage of this is not even. Let's put it that way. But anyway, going back, look at that. God, 32 minutes already. Let's wrap this up. So going back to the solar eclipse, the sun, we need to remember, always refers to leaders, yeah, of all kinds. The moon is female specifically, but the sun is leaders of all kinds. You could say it's almost gender neutral in that way. Anyone who is a leader, your boss or your manager or, those kind of things, government, that kind of stuff. But it can also of course, refer to male leaders as well. The sun is a male planet. So this eclipse, we need to understand that this is also happening in, like I said, it's happening in Joe Biden's first house. There's that. Having an eclipse falling in your first house is actually quite a big deal. Not all eclipses are equal. And again, like something like Denise Siegal would mention, she's got a very good channel. She is a tropical astrologer. But I really respect her historical knowledge and all of that kind of stuff. Of course, we're talking about different parts of the sky, but her knowledge is wow. Yeah, really good. I might even actually put a link for her channel in the show. And because it's just I love her historical observations and stuff like that. But of course, we're talking about different parts of the sky. But anyway, nonetheless, this is still happening in Biden's first house. When you have eclipses in your first house and your seventh house, that axis, it always is going to impact you and your relationships. The seventh house, even though it's happening in Scorpio, opposite, of course, Scorpio is Taurus, and that's where Rahu, the north node of the moon, is. So that is getting eclipsed as well. You know, that shadow in a way is kind of going like this. Yeah, the eclipse is happening here in Scorpio, but of course the lunar eclipse just happened up here. So that will always affect, when it falls into your first house, it will affect the situations around you and your body. Yeah, the first house is the body, remember, and the seventh house is the outside world. Anyone that's not us. Primarily it tends to represent our spouse and our partners, but anyone that's not us. Also business, trade, the outside world, open enemies. Yeah. So there is that energy there going along with this solar eclipse. So expect things to heat up on the next day, or it's happening on the 4th, but I think on the 4th, Mars comes into his own sign of Scorpio, or the day after, let's say the 5th, 4th, 5th, which is going to amp up the energy even more. So just pay attention to what's going on around the world. Look at the rhetoric. Listen to this kind of, you notice that there's this kind of warlike, combative language that's going on, and this is going to need to be dialed back. But for now, I think it's going to kind of like dial up a bit. Just listen to what global leaders are saying. What's going on in Africa? What's going on in China? What's going on in India? What's going on in the UK? What's going on in Europe? What's going on in America? When you daisy chain all of those things together, you start to see a pattern. So what is the important thing is? The important thing is peace. So for us, anyone watching this, we need to try our best to radiate peace and to stay calm. Not get rattled in this time, not to give in too much to the energies of fear, which are, of course, immensely powerful and has also got a lot to do with Scorpio, by the way, and conspiracy theories and all sorts of different bits and bobs. So just understand that this is energy. The nodes of the moon next year are going to change signs. So on the 17th of March 2022, the Rahu is going to go into sidereal Aries and Ketu is going to go into sidereal Libra. Yeah, so there's going to be an energetic shift, an energetic change, but there's going to be some bumpy stuff. December 15th, Mars will be with Ketu, so that could be a big deal. And New Year's Eve is also looking a bit sketch as well. So this is just, it's just giving you a heads up. It may not be the most positive, message in the world, but let's just look at what we just got to just be real, haven't we? There's a lot that is happening, but still keep your hope, still keep your humor. Yeah, you've just had Thanksgiving for many people in America, but we've got Christmas coming up. Let's see what happens with this Omicron and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, for those that are into the vaccines, take them, if you feel it's right for you. But also as well, there's for other people as well, they want to make different choices, and that is, that is fine too, especially as we know, if you take the vaccine, the viral load is the same, yeah? And that is just factual stuff, yeah? That's just factual stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna have to leave it there because I'm bursting for the loo. So again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for the support, and I will see you soon. All right, bye-bye.